Finally tonight here, looking to the stars. Tonight, the extraordinary new images from space. 19 spiral galaxies near the Milky Way. The clearest view ever observed beyond our own galaxy.
2023 was an amazing year for incredible images from the James Webb Space Telescope, as you can see right there.
In less than 2 years since launching, the James Webb Space Telescope has changed the way we understand the universe.
But if you were talking about a creation story, you would say in the beginning there was light. Because there was a fucking enormous amount of light. It created the entire universe. Literally.
Genesis, the first chapter and the first verse. And I have the brother Rob Karab, you read the first verse.
In the beginning.
And we're going to read it verbatim so we can break it down.
In the beginning, the power created.
So read it verbatim.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth.
Stop right there. Now this first verse, not too many people know how to break this down. The first verse states this: in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. This is the beginning of the creation of the so-called, well, as we know it, universe. The earth, the moon, the stars, the planets, and so forth. But now, what people go off on is this: in the beginning, God. The word God is not talking about the supreme heavenly Father. The original scrolls is written in the ancient Hebrew. Now, I would like to read from this first chapter and the first verse. And this is what it says. It says, Bara'ash Yah. The word Bara'ash Yah means in the beginning. In the headings. Bara'ah, that word is created or creation. Alahayim. Now, read the first verse in the first chapter of Genesis in the Bible again. Verbatim.
In the beginning, God created.
Now, see, God created. Over here it says, the third word is Alahayim. Alahayim. The word Allah is a Hebrew word which simply means power. The angels are known as the powers. They're the powers of the universe. The Most High is the power of the universe. Ha means the. Yum is plural. Let me show you this one. I have this black boy right here. Heavy, big black boy. When you read it in the Hebrew, the word there that we read in the Bible, in the Torah, was Allah, which means power, Ha, the, and Yum represent plural. And the way we read it in the Hebrew was going from what? From right to left. Okay? So that's the word there. So you look up the word God, and you see the word God in the Bible. The word God in the Bible is not the name of the Most High or the Supreme Being or the Heavenly Father. This wasn't talking about the Most High. It was talking about the angels and Christ. To prove that, I would like the brother at the end to give me the book of John, the first chapter and the first verse. And it's going to state the same thing. So the word there is Alahayim. The word Alahayim simply means powers, plural. Angels, plural. Read that, brother.
John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word.
What beginning? That's going back to the very beginning of the book of Genesis. In the beginning of what? The universe. In the beginning was the Word. Who is the Word? Christ is the Word. When you read down to around the 14th verse or thereabouts, it tells you that the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. So who's the Word? The Word is Christ, who you know as Christ. In the beginning was the Word, so Christ was back there from the very beginning. He was one of the chief angels and also the Son of the Most High. Go ahead.
And the Word was with God.
And the Word was with God. The word there in the Hebrew, when you read it in the Hebrew in 1 John, the first chapter, the word there says, in the beginning was the word, and the word was with Allahayim, the powers, the angelic forces. Go ahead.
And the Word was God.
And the word, now right there in the Hebrew, the word is, and the word was a power. And the word, wa, the ba, and the word, Allah, power. And the word was a power, a angelic force, a power. Read on.
The same was in the beginning with God.
The same was in the beginning with the powers. So it was Christ, and it was the other angels, and they were the ones that received the blueprint from the Most High, so to speak, to bring together and create the universe.
Tonight, astronomers, researchers across the globe are now dissecting these new and awe-inspiring images right along with the rest of us. They will help us better understand the origins of our universe.
The further you get in space, the more obvious shit is. Like, once you're up there and you're looking down, this shit doesn't look like there is no God. It looks like you're in the middle of somebody's workshop and they just showed you every single way that every star can be made, every single way a planet can be made, every way that a black hole can be, a galaxy, a universe, and then showed you the best of the best.
And Rob Karab, you can read that.
In the beginning.
The beginning of what? The beginning of the creation of the universe. The heavens, the stars, the planets, the earth, the sun, the moon. Read on.
God created the heaven and the earth.
Now the word God there is Allahayim, which means angels, powers. Go ahead.
And the earth was without form and void.
Was the earth there? Yes, the earth was there. But the earth was in the element stage. All kind of elements are in the air now. But the angels took these elements and formed the earth, formed the planets. That's what it means by the earth was without form and void. Meaning it was not brought together. The elements was not brought together. Because that's proven today in the scientific world. That if you take so many elements, different elements, and combine them, you can come up with water. H2O, for example. Those are two elements that you bring together, a certain amount of one element, hydrogen, and a certain amount of another element, and you then create water. But there's not hydrogen in the air, there's not oxygen in the air, but when you bring these elements together, therefore you have made water. And when you freeze that water, you have made ice. And when you evaporate that water, you have made a gas where it's going back into its natural form of hydrogen and oxygen. Read on, bro.
Is showing off the latest images from deep space. The agency says that the James Webb Telescope pictures you're seeing 19 spiral galaxies. Astronomers say they're the most detailed look of those galaxies so far. They say supermassive black holes sit at the center of each of them.
Okay, so the idea of black holes before the Big Bang, that already is probably too much for me to think about.
And darkness was upon the face of the deep.
What was speaking about when it said the deep? The deep was space. There was not one star. There was no sun. It was just blackness, darkness, deep darkness. Go ahead.
Captured by the James Webb Space Telescope, these incredible images are now offering scientists a better, deeper understanding of how stars form. And right here tonight,
hi, David.
Janice Lee, project scientist for strategic initiatives at the Space Telescope Science Institute in Baltimore.
What we saw just completely blew us away. The light from stars is actually glowing in dust. They're so different, and that teaches us how stars form and how that process might be different in different galaxies. The one thing they have in common, they are all spectacularly beautiful.
Overwhelming in scope, but beautiful indeed.
And the Spirit of God moved upon of the waters.
Now you can use the word powers, because we done broke that down. And the spirit of the powers of the angels moved upon the what? The face of the waters. What does it mean by waters? The Hebrew word Shemayim is what? It means pertaining to the waters. The waters is talking about the atmosphere, the space. What's in the air? The waters, the moisture. Or you would be dehydrated. Read on.
And the powers said, let there be light. And there was light.
So what happened? The angels or the powers initiated a certain amount of elements to illuminate. Now, when the so-called white man and his science, when they look under a microscope and they look at the elements of these germs and these different elements, there's an aura around these elements. And some elements have a brighter aura than others. And that's what they did. They took the elements or the atoms and illuminated the aura around these elements. So that's what they did. They took a certain amount of elements and they illuminated it. Read on.
And the powers saw the light, that it was good.
And the powers saw the light, that it was good. Now, I'm going to illustrate that on the board so you can get the understanding. Let me illustrate that on the board here. As I said, you're not going to learn this going to Reverend Porkchop, because Reverend Porkchop doesn't know his stuff. To give you an illustration right here, they took this is deep space. They took a certain amount of elements and illuminated these elements. Because where do you get the light from in the daytime? A lot of you say, and scientists years ago said, oh, you get it from the sun. That's a damn lie. You don't get it from the sun. And they proved that when they send up the man or power space flights up into space. And when you look down on the earth, you see the aura of the earth. One side of the earth is a dimmer light, and the other side of the earth is a brighter light. Therefore, you get day and night. Because the sun wasn't even created. So this light right here was like a big cloud of light, illuminated elements in the air, in space. Read on.
And the powers divided the light from the darkness.
And the powers divided the light from the darkness. In other words, this is the darkness, right? This is the light. Now, there was one part where it was dimmer, a dimmer form of light and a brighter form of light. And the earth was going to be created right in the middle of that. That's why on one side of the world, it's dark. On this side of the world, it's daytime. When it's nighttime on this side of the world, it's nighttime on this side of the world, it's darkness on the other side of the world. Yes, you got a question, brother?
Oh yeah, so you're saying that the elements lit up? So you're saying that the elements had lit up?
Mm-hmm. And let me say this, the elements, the angels initiated the elements to illuminate. Just like if you look in high school science, you look in a telescope, and you can see the illumination of the light around these elements. So they illuminated these elements that was in space. You understand?
Okay.
Okay. Read on.
And the powers called the light day, and the darkness he called night.
Right, the lesser part of the elements. The angels and the powers call this part day, the other part he called night. Go ahead.
And the evening and the morning were the first day.
So in one day, they created what? The light. Now, outside of this was deep dark space, blackness. In this circle of light, there was a dimmer form of light and a brighter form of light. Just like your lamps at home. You can turn the lamp on and make it super bright and hit the switch again, and you have a dimmer form of light. Now, it said in the evening and the morning was the what? The first day.